Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We've got a 2025 Cimarron Lonestar stock trailer sitting behind me. But this is a unique one. It's got some cool features on it. It's got a side ramp, traveling gate, some extras on it that we're gonna walk you through and show you. But this is a great trailer that maybe you have something you're gonna take to some shows now and then, but also use on the farm and ranch. This is a great option here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the drawing. I'll show you how the trailer's laid out and give you some dimensions. It's 24 foot on the floor. It is 8 foot wide and it is 6'4" tall. But as you can see, it's got the side ramp on it. Some really cool features that we're gonna show you here on this one. Again, it's got that application for you to go both from general purposes at the farm and ranch to then throw a couple show cabs on, go to town. So first and foremost, with the Cimarron, you're looking at all aluminum construction. You have an 8-year structure warranty, 3-year hardware, 1 year, no questions asked warranty on the tires. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But as we approach this trailer, we're gonna get to the front here. I'm gonna point out a couple things. On this one here, we did a color match nose. This is black sheeting we did on this trailer. It's got a just good look to it. It just sets itself apart from just the general stock trailers out there. Now this one here, you're gonna notice the black sheeting on the nose itself and then also on the side ramp. We'll put that up and I'll show you that as we walk through the video here. But the color match nose on this one, you've got 3 marker lights up at the top, those buttons. Those are gonna be the marker lights throughout this whole trailer, those buttons. They're an LED, they're not a big power draw, but they put off a lot of light. Just a good look to them. We were doing these 3 on the front on a lot of our big custom trailers, living quarters, big steer wall air ride trailers, really loaded up. But in this instance here, they went ahead and made that change on the 24 models. I think it's just a good look to the trailers themselves. You're gonna notice this sticker right on the front of this coupler, B&W. They are a very well and known and reputable manufacturer out on the market. They make their hitches here in the US. A few years back, the coupler that Cimarron was using, that company was purchased out by a larger one. They were having a hard time getting them. So a trip to B&W just to kind of look at some robotic welders kind of snowballed into developing and making their own actual couplers for gooseneck trailers. It's rated at 25,000 pounds. This is about the 3rd version here that we're looking at. They're really good to work with from the standpoint of listening. How do we improve them? On this trailer here, it's not as big of a deal, but this is a lower profile handle, so we could also get one more hole drilled into the actual coupler. So if we want to slide it up into this, the sleeve a little bit more, a taller truck, something along those lines, you've got that capability there. But again, really good partnership working with them on that. And again, very well-known and reputable company out there in the market. So underneath the gooseneck, this is a really cool feature here. That is that electric over hydraulic equalizer jack. These things are awesome. Honestly, at this point in my life, I don't know why you'd want a manual crank jack as it is. This guy here, you just push a button and up down it goes. This is awesome because if you have some younger juniors you're traveling with, as you're backing up to this trailer, you can actually back up underneath the coupler itself. You can sit there with your foot on the brake rather than putting in park and it rocking or trying to set that parking brake. They can just be right here and hit this button and it drops right down on the truck. The other unique thing about this system, and Cimarron, this is the version they use. It's got a manual override, and this is what we use here on our lot if we do have a manual crank and somebody's wanting to upgrade. Because of the override capability on this one, in emergency situations, we could get this on or off. So it's just got a hand pump. It's got a knob on the other side here when we release to lower it. If you want to see how this thing operates with the manual override, just let us know. We've got a really condensed, about a 2-minute video that we can show you how to actually operate that. It's very, very easy. But it's just so fantastic to be able to push a button and up and down this thing goes. With it, you're going to get your aluminum battery box. It's going to house a single battery in there. Battery disconnect, that's standard with these systems. So we can reach up and turn that guy off when we walk away from the trailer. If we accidentally leave one of these interior lights on, something like that can run off of this battery and drain it down, it'll just kill all power. One of the other things that you're going to notice in here is this red arc charger. This is now being put on all Cimarrons that have basically a hydraulic jack, something with a battery on it. So that guy there is a 3-stage charger. Boy, are we going to give a lot of longevity and life to that battery itself, because one, it's going to protect it. We're going to get a really good charge coming from the truck. I tell people it's almost like a supercharger rather than the old traditional. If we didn't have that on there and we're plugged into a truck, your truck just kind of works as a trickle charger. So it's really slow. You know, you'd have really long trips for it to really get, you know, up to actual charging capability, to where this guy here with that 3-stage, a true 3-staging charger, you know, again, it's got to give a lot of life to it, and it's also going to protect the truck as well from, you know, blowing breakers, anything like, or fuses, anything like that when we have a low battery. But this is, again, a really cool feature that they're putting on them. You're going to start noticing that on all these moving forward if they have this type of a setup. Now, if you watch a lot of our videos, you'll notice that the spare is actually located down low because this trailer is 8 foot wide. And the reason why when we get to 8 wide is we have more space between the jack itself and the side of the trailer that we can actually locate this spare. On our standard width trailer 610, they're narrower. This is a larger footprint than manual. This will be located up a little bit higher. But in this instance, we have plenty of space here. What I love about a Cimarron 2 is their nose. This is an 8.2 long nose. So it's longer than standard out there in the industry. And where that really comes into play, in my opinion, is one, we have more storage up in the neck. I think these trailers pull a little bit better. The balance is really good, but I love it on a long box truck. When you drop the tailgate, you know, a lot of manufacturers with the 7.6, 7.8, that tailgate's gonna be right there at that, you know, plastic cover for that hydraulic jack. Potentially getting into it if you rock back or back into it a little bit too far. With that longer nose, we can actually drop that tailgate and I can walk behind there. There's room to work and some space there. And speaking of gooseneck, this one here, we talk about this a lot. This gooseneck drop wall. Over the years, 50 inches has been standard, but if you've noticed, a lot of the trucks have gotten taller. Rams, Fords have been a higher truck bed height. The new GMC and Chevy, those GM products, their bed heights have gotten taller too. Well, we've gone from a 50-inch to a 53. So a little bit more clearance. That way we can adjust that B&W coupler how we need it to and make sure this trailer's running level. You've paid for 2 axles, let's run on 2 axles. Let's not nose this thing way up in the air to get bed clearance and run into potential issues by having all that weight on that back axle. With this, now we can actually adjust that coupler, make sure it's running, and get that bed clearance that you really need, and that's what you're looking at here. There's a good look at that black sheeting on the side, and then we step back, and there is that side ramp I was telling you about. So again, this is where it's really cool to be able to walk cattle on and off, other livestock projects. Shoot, you can even run a 4-wheeler up on this. With that 8 wide box, you can get, you know, most 4-wheelers park across this trailer itself. And then I'll show you here in a second the gate, but this is fantastic to be able to walk calves up and down, in and out of this trailer. As we walk in here, we'll just start up at the nose. I've got the calf gate down, but a couple things. Over to the right is going to be a storage tray. That's going to be for our plexiglass. I'll show you when we get to the outside, but that's where that can actually store. So it's not just thrown up here on the gooseneck deck itself where maybe you're going to throw some fans or some feed or other equipment that could potentially break those. Let's go ahead and have them a place to stay and live and a little bit more organized. You have that. So 8 wide, like I was telling you about, and then that 8.2 long nose. Look at all the storage space up there. There's a ton in this gooseneck area on this because of those dimensions I just rattled off to you. And then what you've got is your fold-up calf gate. Pins into place, it's solid. This is the exact same extrusion on the side of the trailer, so you want to talk about stout. It's not just a sheet of aluminum. I mean, this is really strong stuff that they're using here. But that gets up and out of the way. 2-way roof vents. You're going to have a few of them in here. You have some up at the front. You got another set in the middle, and we'll show you here in the back. There's another set, so you have 6 of them, so you can manipulate airflow in this trailer. You know, giving calves a little bit more airflow, it definitely helps. You can open some up, open some to release at the back, kind of create a vacuum, you know, through here. And some people ask me, what do you mean by vacuum? So think about this: when you're in your passenger vehicle, you roll down your driver's window and your passenger's up and you get a little bit of airflow, but it kind of doesn't move. You roll down your other side and you actually get airflow going across the whole you know, cab of the pickup. Well, that's no different in these trailers. We can grab air at the front, grab air here, and you have somewhere that air is wanting to go somewhere, and it's finding that, so it's kind of creating a vacuum through here. So really good airflow in that instance. On top of that, let's just talk about the roof. We're kind of looking up there anyway. So this is standard on every single Cimarron. Doesn't matter if it's this trailer, big living quarters, one of those big steer walls, a little bumper pole. This is on every single one. It's an insulated roof. It's R3 thermal value. It's a 1/2 inch thick, so it's really strong. It's got a honeycomb design to it, so I can walk on this roof and it won't dent it. So it'll take substantial hail as well. Take 150 pounds per square foot. So I don't necessarily have to find these roof bows when I'm walking on it. But what it does more importantly is what it does for the temperature in the stall area. It keeps it 20% cooler than aluminum sheeted roofs. So here's a little backstory. We'll kind of jump back over to that steer walt model. When Kirk and Cimarron designed their first one, Kirk was going to go drag it. He built it 6'8" tall. Well, why? Because heat rises. So he wanted to get that heat away from the calves having that clearance. Well, then he quickly realized with this insulated roof, I don't necessarily need that extra height and that extra drag. So we can go ahead and actually make the standard height a little bit shorter. So 6'4" on those trailers. This instance here, that's what we've gone with. You can kind of get right about here in the middle, and you can throw a tape from the ground and you're going to get about 6'6". So it's a little bit extra because of the bow itself. And speaking of, you're going to look at these roof bows. So I want you to pay attention to these, because I'm going to show you another piece here in a minute. But this is a rectangle design. If you have a big stick of this, it'll kind of wobble like a noodle if you grab it, you know, about a 20-25 foot stick, it'll just kind of wobble. Well, this is what a lot of the competitors use as their uprights on their sides of the trailers. Cimarron uses them on their roofs because it also has a little give to us. We can get a little arch to it. But if you look at the side posts on the Cimarron, they're going to be more of a square. And why that's important is there's the same amount of aluminum in this post as this post up here. But because this is almost a perfect square, it's a lot stronger. So same 20-foot stick of this, now it's a pencil. It is straight, doesn't have that wobble. So that's why they use these on the sides and these up on the roof. But really strong, you know, side posts. This is a great trailer to show it to you with it being the Lonestar. Because of that, you get to see these guys, you get to see the guts of the trailer itself, so you really get to see this framework, and you see how strong these guys are here. And then on the back side of that extrusion that's on the outside, I showed you on the calf gate, it's smooth. So instead of having those kind of divots in them where, you know, manure can get behind them and dirt, harder to clean, you know, this is a flush look to it, you know, creating that kind of somewhat 90 in that area, so that post runs right up against it. You're going to notice tie rails high and low, so we can tie calves up with their heads up if we need to, let them lay down if we want, tie them down, but good from that standpoint to be able to have some flexibility there. Got some LED lights in here. They're on a switch at the back, but these are the big OptiBrights. These are a big, clear, bright lens, put off a lot of lighting. Again, not a big power draw. We were always upgrading our trailers to these for inventory, but based on just availability, sometimes we just had to go with the standard LED. Well, over the last year, Cimarron has now made these standard, these OptiBrights. In my opinion, it's the only way to go. Now, let's talk about what we got going on here. I mentioned that gate a little bit on the outside. So this is a really cool gate, really functional gate, makes this trailer very unique and be able to manipulate your stall sizes all you want, because this is a traveling gate. We've got these traveling tracks above me here on each side of the trailer. That's where the actual gate rolls off of. So I can roll this gate where I want. I have it set in a position right now where we have a larger post. So you're going to have your larger 6-inch tubes on the actual door frames, but also the wheel wells. So you're going to have these notches with this heavy UHMW plastic piece here where the actually pins into. But when I go to, if I roll it back the next foot, I can actually set it on these upright posts that I was showing you. So now you've got the ability to manipulate these stall sizes all you want. Every foot along this, we can set this gate. So you want to talk about just being able to utilize a trailer and not just waste a bunch of space. Maybe you're dragging a cow-calf pair during the summer, maybe you're hauling a bull. You've got some younger heifers, older heifers, you got to steer, you just want to be able to move some things around a little bit, not waste. Now I can roll this gate in place, I can put a pair up there and maybe put some heifers behind it. But this guy here just rolls really easy. As long as you're in the middle of it and just balance, very easy to operate. Get it where you want, set it in place, and then you're done. It's that simple. We went with a 48-inch swing with no threshold, so the calves don't have anything that they have to step over here. This gate swings both ways. So it makes it so much easier walking calves on and off this trailer. And you're gonna notice that we're hinged over here towards driver's side, to where normally our traditional stock trailers, the gates are hinged on passenger side. Well, our thought process has to change a little bit, utilizing this side ramp. What makes the most sense walking calves on and off, and it made it to where it hinged on this side. So that's why we're flipped over to this other side on this one. The other cool thing is if you want to add a second gate to this trailer, it can be done. We've run the track back just a couple feet off the back of the trailer. So you want to add a second gate in this trailer, no problem. We can have one built, get it in here, get it installed for you, and then utilize that. The other nice thing is if you want to open this whole thing up, this gate will actually roll ahead of the side ramp and ahead of that escape door and lock into place up there on that gooseneck drop wall. So I can get it up out of the way, one big stall. You want to add that second gate, and hey, I don't necessarily need 3 stalls. I can slide one up there and then just use this other gate here. But like even in the instance I was telling you about a 4-wheeler, think about where that side ramp is, and I'm going to load some stuff on the back. I can roll that 4-wheeler up, the side ramp, shut that, roll this gate right behind it because there's a spot for it there. And again, not necessarily wasting space in this trailer. Again, just giving you a lot more flexibility to how this trailer is used. So that about covers it in here. A lot of cool things. We'll show you the back gate when we get back there, but we'll head out this side ramp. I'm going to shut it up for you too, so you can see that the black sheeting on this guy. And again, they use some really big springs on these. So once you kind of get it up, headed towards the trailer, it kind of wants to take over. These springs will go ahead and shut it. I can actually latch this guy. And then there's a good look. That black really ties in well with this because of the plexiglass, in my opinion, the extrusion, and then also the wheels that we're going to look at here in a minute. Lower tie rail, so we can tie calves on either side of this trailer. So if you're tying out somewhere, you've got the capability. You can figure out, okay, what's going to be the shaded side when we actually take calves to tie outs. Let's just park the trailer there. That way we can utilize it that way. You have a 16-inch awning light up at the top there in the middle, so you have some light coverage out here. And then this plexiglass. So we have 3 air gaps. We have 2 upper and 1 lower. So obviously our 2 upper are the same size. Our lower is a little bit skinnier, but this is where that tray comes into play that I showed you up in the nose. So a little trick, pocket knife, there's a notch. And this track is built on all these stock trailers, but there's a notch 4 foot back from the ramp. But if you take your pocket knife and slide it just kind of in between those 2 pieces, once you get the first one out, boy, the rest of them slide out really easy, but that's a little trick. So, and then when I want to take out this, here's another tip. A roll of masking tape and a Sharpie or pen, something to write with. When I take out this lower passenger, I'm going to tape it together and I'm going to put them all those pieces together. I'm going to write that on there, and then I'm going to put in the tray, and then I'll do the upper, and then I'll do the other side. Your lowers do the exact same thing. We have different lengths of plexiglass because of the side ramp and then the escape door. So the last thing you want to do is figure out all the puzzle pieces, where they go, and taking you a ton of time, and you're going to get frustrated. And let's be honest, you don't have a picture to go off of for reference. It's all just a smoky piece of plexiglass. You have no idea how to piece them all together. But if I just take the little bit of time to do that, it's going to save myself a lot of hassle when I go to put them back in the trailer itself. Axles on this guy, we have two 7,000-pound Dexter rubber torsion axles, electric brakes on this one. So you'll have to have your integrated brake controller or an aftermarket top rate these guys. These are going to be the silver with black in them. The rims itself, 16-inch wheels. So again, it ties into the color of this trailer itself. Goodyear 10-ply tires. You have a 1-year, no questions asked warranty on these tires. So if you have a blowout, you catch road debris, you catch a nail within the first year, like that nail, if it can be patched, okay, but if it can't be, it gets in the sidewall or something, they'll replace that tire for free, no questions asked. That's not through Cimarron, that's through Lion's Head, who is the provider, their vendor for their wheels and tires. So we can help you out with that process there, but it's, again, really nice to have some warranty behind some of those type of items on this type of a trailer. All right, as we get to the back, we've got the slider open. With this being 8 foot wide, we can go with a wider rear sliding gate. That is a 36-inch wide opening. Well, why that comes into play is on narrower trailers, we can't allow that gate to go too far because we don't have as wide of a trailer. So hardware gets into this opening that we're trying to get in and out. In this instance here, we can slide that all the way over. It clears the opening. We can butt up against an alleyway. We can butt up against another trailer. Or if you're leading calves on and off, think about a big fat steer, a big bred heifer. We don't want to try to squeeze them through a really narrow opening. That's why you have the 36. And then with it, you just end up with the swing gate as well. So just your more traditional rear swing with a slider in it. And then there's a good look, you know, again, that traveling gate. So again, we can slide that guy, you know, all over the place. You know, again, just a couple feet off the back. Gives you a lot of flexibility on that there. Now back here, we've also got a 16-inch awning light up at the top rail. So more light coverage there for you. And then pay attention to these rear tail lights, because if you're familiar with our inventory and how we build a lot of our trailers over the last few years, we've been putting a lot of backup lights on trailers, especially the larger trailers. Think about our backup lights on our truck. They're way up there. They're doing us no good when we get into, you know, unfamiliar places at night, even getting home sometimes backing up. It's nice to have some light coverage. So we were putting a lot of backup lights on our trailers. Cimarron actually came up with this through some vendors. It actually has a built-in backup light within the tail light itself. And now we have 4 lights rather than just one. The one was about that size, but it was very concentrated in one area, the light was, to where we've messed around in our wash bay with these, with 2 trailers alike, with these and the other version. This one here is a more consistent, just light coverage in our opinion. It was really interesting to see it. We felt like the coverage was a lot better on these. So that is standard on the 25 models moving forward. So again, you got a lot of cool features that come along with some of these standard options, but again, this one's got a lot of extras. Our lights right here for interior and load lights are right here, so they're all individuals. So I can turn, you know, this rear on if I want, or just the interior, anything like that. So they're all operated from right there. Over here on driver's side, same thing. There's that lower tie rail. So again, if this is the shaded side right now, you know, later in the heat of the day, if you're going out there to tie outs or something like that, or showing off this trailer, you know, maybe that's how you determine which side you're going to actually work off of. And then you've got your escape door that actually gets in there, that access gate going into that kind of front area. This guy here can be locked, and then so can the ramps. They're all the same key. Now your rear, you know, just the way that's set up, you'd have to go with a padlock on that instance there, but here you can actually lock that up. And then there's a fold-up step. So if you look at where that lower door frame is, that's a pretty big step. It kind of breaks it in half. It's on a gas shock, so it's really easy to flip up and down. Again, 24 foot with a traveling gate and side ramp, 8 wide. So a lot of really cool features on this, and I'm going to give you the stock number on it for reference. Again, it's a 2025 Cimarron Lonestar. Stock number is 5N240755. So we do take trade-ins. So if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available. We can help you with that aspect of it. And then delivery, so we could potentially just bring it right to your doorstep. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.